friends, it's Maddie. Welcome back and welcome to day whatever we're on of Bookmas. Today we're going to be talking about my most surprising books from 2020. Unexpected, and I didn't expect to like these as much. I will tell you, I have 10 of them. I will tell you what the books are and why they surprised me, kind of like what my expectations were. Things like that. I did not rank these. They're not in any particular order. It is just a list of 10. But yeah, please, while you're here, hit that subscribe button so you can check out the rest of the 12 Days of Bookmas with me. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about my favorite books of the year, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love talking about books that I loved. So please hit that subscribe button. I hope the camera angle isn't too different. My dog was very needy, so he will be in this video with me for as long as he wants snuggles. Okay, so the first book we're going to be talking about is Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. This is an urban fantasy book that Leanne from Literary Diversions recommended. She loves the Mercy Thompson series. That's what this book is a part of. Mercy is basically kind of like a skinwalker. That they call her a walker, but it's kind of like a skinwalker. She just doesn't need skin to go into I believe coyote is the form that she turns into. And in this book, she is dealing with her past as well as dealing with a threat to her. What am I talking about? Basically, I was surprised by this book because I really didn't have expectations for it. I don't really know a lot about urban fantasy, and I didn't really know what to expect from an urban fantasy book, and I really loved this. I fell in love with Mercy, and I immediately bought the second book. Of course, I didn't read it, but I did immediately buy it, and I am really excited to get into the series this year and learn more about it. Yeah, if you like urban fantasy, please let me know what you like, because I did discover that is a genre that I like this year. Then also, a second book that surprised me this year was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a young adult, new adult fantasy romance about this human girl named Feyre who gets kidnapped by a High Lord of the Spring Court for killing somebody that was from his court. And yeah, there's a love story in it. There is a really good villain in it, and I did not... People are very wishy-washy on how they feel about Sarah J. Maas, and I had never read anything from her, and so I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of expected to think it was really cheesy and lame, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know if that is like, I don't know, my unintroduced to fantasy mind, and then 5 years I'll think I'm weird for liking this, but I love it right now. I continued on in the series this year, and I will be continuing with Court of Rings and Ruin in the new year. So yeah, I really did enjoy this. It kind of was the first kind of dipping my toe into fantasy in a really long time. And I think it sparked a new love. I did buy a lot of fantasy after this that I plan to get to hopefully in the new year. The next book on my list is The Return by Rachel Harrison. This is a horror thrillery type book. And the reason I was so surprised with how much I liked this is because it wasn't getting very good reviews. And I thought it sounded amazing. It's about a group of 4 women who, one of them goes missing. And they are like looking for her. She's gone for a really long time, and then she comes back. And they're doing like a girls' weekend to try to like reconnect as friends and talk to her, but she is weird. Like, she is not the same. There's something different about her. And they're all trying to figure out like what the hell is going on. I don't know if people didn't like this because it's more of a horror than thriller. It has like weird supernatural bits to it. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if, yeah, I'm guessing that had to be the part that people didn't like. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was so fun. I loved getting to learn about all these different women, and the creature element of this was fantastic. Yeah, I will definitely read more from Rachel Harrison in the future. I really did enjoy this. What? Are you looking in the camera? Look, that's you. Who's that? The next book on my list is going to be An English Bride in Scotland by Lindsay Sands. This is the first book in her Highlander historical romance series. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but this was my first foray into historical romance at all. I did that earlier this year on the recommendation of Mara from Books Like Whoa. I trust her recommendations in other areas, so I thought I would give one of her favorite series a go, and I'm really glad that I did. I listened to the audio of this one and it was fabulous. I loved the narrator. I thought she did such an amazing job doing the voice of both the Highlander husband and the English wife. I thought they were so fun. I loved their relationship together. I just thought he was hilarious. I thought she was the perfect amount of like innocent, because she was like a nun, or like was about to join the nunnery, become accepted into it. I don't know the terminology, but so she's very innocent. She hasn't dealt with this stuff. She doesn't know how to be a lady. She doesn't know any of this stuff. And so I thought she was appropriately innocent, but not like airheaded or anything like that. Like, I really thought that she was a good character. I'm excited to read more in this series. I think I started reading the second one and I just wasn't feeling it at the time, but I will definitely get back into this series. What did you think? What did you think of An English Bride in Scotland? Did you like it? Okay. Next on my list is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. The reason this is on my list is because I hadn't really had very good luck with YA thriller mystery type books in the past, and I was pleasantly surprised by this book. So you're following this girl who is doing her senior project on this murder that had occurred in the town that she lives in, I believe like 2 years before. And basically everybody thinks this one guy did it, and he had killed himself the same day that the girl's body was found. So everyone just assumed that he did it and moved on, but she isn't so sure. And she wants to take a look into it and find out what really happened. And I thought the investigation was so interesting. I thought it was very believable for a high school student in terms of the mistakes she made and basically the way that the story progressed. There was a slight romantic element, but I didn't feel like it took over the story, which I hate. And yeah, I'm very interested to see what the next story is gonna be. What was your most surprising book this year? Was it Go Dog Go? Clifford? The Call of the Wild? Think of more dog books. Next on my list is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This book, I was surprised just at how much I loved this book. I didn't think I was gonna hate it or anything like that, but I did not expect to fall in love with Eleanor in the way that I did when reading this book. I was endeared by her very early on in the story and really liked her character growth throughout. I enjoy, the strange type of protagonist that she is, where not everybody understands her. Most people think she's weird, but she really does have a heart of gold, and I just fell in love with her and her story. I could see myself rereading this book, and yeah, just adored it. Next is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I sort of discovered my love of contemporary romance, sometimes called rom-com, although I don't necessarily think that applies always. But yeah, I had never read anything by Christina Lauren because I just assumed, based on the premises of some of their other books, that I would not enjoy them. But I had a blast with this. It is about basically the maid of honor and the best man, who are the siblings of the respective bride and groom, and everybody gets food poisoning except for them, so they go on the honeymoon in place of the husband and wife, and they have to pretend to be married because, basically it was like a free honeymoon and they have to be the correct recipients or whatever. And I really did enjoy this. I don't think it was perfect by any means. There were some annoying parts of it, I'm sure, but I had a really good time, and I was surprised at how much I could enjoy a book like this just because I didn't really know if I liked it. I hadn't really looked into it. Next on this list is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This is very similar to Eleanor Oliphant in that I thought Convenience Store Woman does have mixed reviews, and so I wasn't sure if I would like it, but I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I mean, nothing really happens in this book. Like, it doesn't really have like a strong plot. You're basically following this woman who has worked in a convenience store for a really long time, and she's in her 30s, and that's just what she wants to do. She's good at it. She enjoys doing it. She is fine with it. And it's just other people in her life and people that she works with are all like, why do you work here? Like, why do you still work there? Your life is terrible for working here or whatever. And she's perfectly content. And yeah, I just fell in love with the main character. I really did enjoy her. Next is Compass Rose by Anna Burke. I was surprised at how much I liked this because I had literally heard nothing about it. The way I found this book, sorry, gotta let the baby get comfortable. The way I found this book is very strange. I was going through Hoopla, which I do a lot, especially when I can't sleep. I'll just go through Hoopla, which I have through my library, and you may have access to through your library. And you can check out, like, I think 10, I used to be 10, and now during the pandemic it's been 20. I don't know if they'll go back to 10. But you can check out 10 things every month, and it's just a, you know, it's a free service through your library card. I guess if your library card costs money, that's not free, but, I sometimes will look at newly added books, or I'll look, they have like a really good categorization on there. So you can go to like romance and then subplot like historical romance, America, historical romance, Scotland, like all this different stuff, right? So I think I was either looking at LGBT books or science fiction books, I'm not sure, and found this. And it's basically it's a science fiction, like futuristic type book where in the future everyone lives on water. We don't use land anymore. And this woman is a navigator for essentially what is equivalent to like Starfleet in Star Trek. And she is being tasked with helping this mercenary. I think they're like trying to make a path in the water to ease access for trade for the Federation, whatever they call it in this. And so it's this sort of very like by the rules type of woman in this situation where she's living with a bunch of pirates essentially, and there's a female relationship in this, which I really liked. The way I felt reading this is the light version of how I felt reading The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Like, there isn't as much about the characters as that book is, but if you liked the storyline of that, I think you would really enjoy this. This has a lot more of the sort of element of that book where they're dealing with the conflict. I can't remember what the creatures or what the alien race is in that book, but in the Wayfarers series, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's basically like that except on water with like futuristic pirates. I loved it. There's a sequel coming out next year that I'm very excited about. Well, 2021. I don't know if this video is going up in January or December, but yeah, 2021. And I'm very excited. And then finally, the last book on this list is Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay, and this one surprised me for a couple different reasons. The last book I read by him, The Cabin at the End of the World, I didn't love. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. It was one of those books where I didn't feel like the ending was, I didn't feel like it earned its ending, basically. I don't know what word I was looking for there, and I loved his other book, Head Full of Ghosts. So I was kind of nervous about reading this one. And then I saw mixed reviews of it, and I pre-ordered this book, so I read it like right when it came out, and I loved it. I know it's not what everyone wants from like a post-apocalyptic, well, really apocalyptic book, and it was very slow. It was more about this woman and her relationship with her new baby and her friend, but I really liked it. It's not going to be for everyone, and that's fine. But if you do like character work more than plot in books, I think that you'll be okay with this, because really the major plot of this book is getting this pregnant woman to a hospital. That is just what it is, and they're trying to deal with all of these people. I think it's like essentially a rabies type virus that's going around, but I did really, really enjoy this. It was 4 stars, so I still think Head Full of Ghosts is better if you're interested in the Paul Tremblay, but yeah, I did really enjoy this book. Okay, so those are my most surprising books for 2020. I would like to know what book surprised you this year. Please let me know in the comments down below. I am always intrigued as to why it surprised you, so like I would like to know what about it surprised you. Were your expectations low? Was it just so good you couldn't believe it? Did you connect to the characters in a specific way? I would love to know. So yeah, please let me know down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for my favorite books of 2020. Get excited.